Hello everyone, this is Anne with Junk Journals by Anne, and today we're going to make a book cover and make it into a journal. During Memorial Day weekend, a friend of mine went up to Little Rock, and we were there on a Sunday, and we didn't have anything much to do that day, but the Goodwill stores were open. I guess they're open 7 days a week in Little Rock. But we looked around and we went to a couple of them. They were pretty small, regular size Goodwill stores. But then we went to one that was called a Goodwill outlet, and it was this huge building. They had a training center. Excuse me, I'm kind of hoarse today. They had a training center, and they had some major corporate buildings in there and whatnot. And then at one end of it was this outlet store. We got up there, and it was a huge room, and they had this really big, and they were probably at least 8 feet long, and they were longer than I could reach across. But they were bins, big blue bins, and on rolly carts, and they would roll these out with a cover on them, and they just had a cloth or some kind of cover. They could just uncover it, and then they'd set them up. And there were several of them together, and then they would put rows, and they kind of had a way, I guess, where they had clothes at certain areas. You never knew what you found in a bin. But they did, I think, try to keep, house goods and whatnot. Books were often in certain ones. There was a lot of books in them. And my friend would kind of keep an eye on. Once I found out there was books there, I said, ooh. And they sold these books. I think it was pretty inexpensive. I know it was very inexpensive, because I came out of there with about 40 books of various kinds. And then all that I plan on using for junk journals. I think I spent under $20 for those 40 books. So they were even less than 50 cents a piece. I think maybe if you bought so many, you got a free one. I don't know. I wasn't really sure how they did that. But the lady was kind of like, when she saw the cart, and it might have been by weight, because you rolled up and there was a scale there too. So I don't know exactly how she did it. But anyway, it was fun. The trunk of my car was filled. I have a little Volkswagen Bug, and it was funny because we just threw the books in, and had a suitcases on top. And then when we unpacked it, I did have a picture. If I can find that and add that, I will. But it was funny that all those books came from Little Rock. But in that pile, and I saw this book, it's just a cover, and there's no book block in here. And the covers I mean, it's been around, it's torn here, and, it's pretty ratty looking here and here. It's been around. But it's apparently it was Abe Lincoln's Stories and Speeches. I can't read out what is here. Illustrated, I guess is what it says. There is a little faint, and it's indented, a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and it says, that reminds me of a story. So maybe that was one of his sayings. But anyway, I thought I would make a book out of it, and I thought it would make a really good Halloween, being that it's black and silver, would make a good cover on a Halloween book. Well, then I was kind of noticing I was purchasing some digital papers from Dash of Dave. And he has these wonderful bottles, like potion bottles, or, that you would see in a, sorcery dungeon, whatnot type of things. And they're just really beautiful pictures. So I purchased the kit, and I printed them. And so we'll just kind of run through them. And I printed them double-sided. They're just amazing. And I thought, oh, this would be perfect. I think I'm going to have to cut them down a little bit, top and bottom, just to make them fit. I thought at first I might have to cut them down quite a bit. Now, he did not have any ephemera pieces, but I reprinted some on, and the kit was 36 pages long. So I printed like 18 pages back to back. And so, so the front and back, and I have these, and I love my Epson 8500 EcoTank printer. It just is so, it just uses so little ink, and this is and I set it at the highest quality, not the best quality, but the high quality. This looks like it would be perfect for a book cover, but it's like 3 sections, and I'm not sure exactly. This was some kind of manuscript, I guess, or something. but I'm going to just add it as a page. And then here's some more books, and they're all in all these old dusty looking shelves. I would hate to go down to this place. Looks like it'd be all full of spiders and all sorts of creepy crawly things. And every so often, you know, it's got, you know, magic in here, which I love that. It does look like a magic place, you know, with old stuff in here. Now, some of the pictures I printed on lightweight cardstock. It's about 65 pounds because I could use it for making pockets and whatnot. And this might end up being a two-part video because to get all this done and to glue everything and show you how I'm going to do this, it might just take two videos to get it done. So we'll consider this as part one, and we'll go as far as we can. And then we might have to wait until glue dries. But he was very creative on doing this, and I have not seen when he brought this one out and did a reveal on this DigiKit. And this is another one that would have been very good for a cover, and I have another one I've set aside that's going to be the inside covers of. It'll be the inside cover of this because I do want inside covers, just because. I mean, there is old writing on here. It might be fun to do that, but I think it would be better for the sake of the book just to have inside covers. And so I have set one similar to that one aside, and that'll just be on the inside. So there. Still have more to go. And none of these, they're all very similar. He's got more books in some, more shelves in some. Some bottles are bigger, some are smaller. I think this one I printed, and it's going to be journaling cards. And I printed that on a lightweight cardstock too, but that also it's not, that 65-pound cardstock is not it's not real heavy, so it does need to have a lining on it, so it'll be good too. Now, I love this one. It's all books here, and then a few of the little potion bottles up here. I should have done some of the creative, like making a belly band on that one, but you know, I think I'm going to. I've cut out individual bottles, and I'm going to glue them to a backing, and they're either going to be journal cards or tags, and then we'll just see. So that's all the papers we're going to use. Now, in addition to those, so if there's 36 pages, they'll make, well, 18 pages, excuse me, that will make 3 signatures of 6 pages each. Is that right? 3 times 6 is 18. And then, so I added some pages of my own, or I'm going to add some pages of my own. This is just some coffee dyed paper. And I'll just go through these kind of fast. And then this one is the pages. I had this old latte machine that would drip, and so I just kind of put my copy paper underneath of it. And so I just, none of them are exactly alike, but it just collected the drips. I have some music paper that I've probably coffee dyed. I always coffee dye it too, unless I have some really old stuff. But this I think won't crack. I always like to use some brown paper. So I cut some of our packaging that we get all the time into 8.5 by 11, because that's our size here in the US. And then this is just another sheet of paper. It's lighter. You might have to do something on a stencil maybe to get that little, and it has been coffee dyed, but it's really light. Here's some accounting paper, and we'll probably just roll those in half. Here's some line paper that I think I'm going to cut down, so because it's a double-sided, and it's kind of wonky, so we'll have to kind of straighten that up a little bit, but there's 3 of those. So each signature can have a double page, and I will cut that down, you know, so, okay, and then here's some more just regular coffee stain paper, and these are kind of coffee stain. Now this is the one I'm going to use for the inside of the covers, and I think it's really, I think it might go this way. I can't tell you right now which way it goes. No, it goes this way. Okay, so that'll be good, and I will have to cut those down too, I'm sure. So there'll be some, but it will, I think it'll fit. And then the spine, I think one of these is going to be part to cover the spine. And then this is what I'm going to glue. These are the ones I'm going to do for journal cards, and but they're very lightweight, so I am going to glue them on some a little bit heavier duty paper, and that'll be one task. And then I have these that I think these are going to be large journaling cards, and then because this book, they would almost fit. They will fit under. They'll fit in there, so they can slide in someplace in the book. And then I want to cover the back of them so that they have some writing paper on the back. And this is what I said. I printed some on that cardstock. And I'm going to take this really old, this like the burnt stuff, you know, you get, this is really grungy. And I think that's what I'm going to do is just put some of these older pieces on here and give them a little bit more, more depth. And so I'm going to be gluing some pieces, and I think I might have another piece of this too. So let's just get started. But first thing we need to do is fold our paper, fold our signatures, and get them set up. So that's what I hope to do today between the signatures and getting the book ready, because the book itself, or the cover itself, definitely needs to have a spine reinforced. So let me put these aside for the time being, and I'll put these aside, and let's work on the cover and get that drying. And someplace I have this piece of, it's a little velveteen. I got some velveteen samples, and I think it will make a nice addition. Then and it'll be cloth, so it'll make it flexible. But I'm going to put that on the inside of the cover then to give some strength to this spine. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use my fabric fix glue, and we'll just glue. I'm going to glue on this. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's kind of warm down here again in Texas. This is like Friday. I don't know, what does it say? It's August 8th. But I guess we're going to be having a full moon this evening or tomorrow. So if anybody watches astrology stuff, it's full moon time. Okay, I'm going to leave this down. I wanted it shorter than, I wanted some of this black at the banding on the front to, or on the inside here to show. I'm just going to push that down. And I have a bone folder over here someplace. Okay. Now to get this lined up, and I wanted it to pretty well fill out the whole length of this. And so I'm going to just kind of flip it over. And I'm going to use Fabrifix again, but I thought this black velveteen would give it a good texture. And I'm going to glue this down too with Fabrifix. And then flip it over. We try to keep it in place. I'm going to put some down this side of the spine where it's going to glue in there. Some days I don't drive that glue very straight. I think we all have those days. And I'm going to put this, kind of push this down in the spine. I really want that to strengthen the spine and be support. I was going to just cut it with a rotary cutter, but I'm not real good with it. Maybe I don't have a good rotary cutter. So I'm going to turn it around this way and get the rest of this side. Let's see, what else is going on in my life? Well, I am signed up to go to one of 49 Dragonflies. Barbara is teaching a class in Salt Lake City. Actually, she's teaching 3 classes. They're like 2.5 days long. I guess there's like a meet and greet the night before and 2 intense said intense days of classes for junk journals in September. And I don't know if there's any seats left or anything, but I did get signed up. And it'll be the first time I've traveled any place by myself for a long time. And since I'm old enough that the airports don't mind if I don't have to have a proof to order a wheelchair. I'm going to go, because it's DFW, it's a big airport, been there many times before, going on American, and I'm going to take advantage of having them wheel me around, because I can do it with a cane, but I'm slow, and then if something happens and I have to change, if they do one of those, change the terminal or something, or change the gate, I'd be hobbling along, or, and I don't want anything to happen that way. And then I did do a pre-check, which I guess I can also get somebody that will meet us there and walk us through the pre-check thing. And I'm going to take advantage of that, because traveling by yourself when you're, older and you've got some issues, if it's flat surface, I do fine. But, if there's anything slippery or anything, and I'm not real good about jumping on one of those sliding sidewalks anymore. My balance is not what it used to be. So there, I'm going to leave that, and I'm just going to leave it flat. I think I need to push this down on this side too, just to see if that will meld with that piece of fabric. I think that will hold that in really nicely. Okay, so I'm looking forward to the trip, and then I'm going to extend my stay, because I have a sister-in-law that lives about 5 hours from Salt Lake City. So the end of that week, she's going to come up and visit me. So I have a whole week away from home, which will be kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. And then the next thing, I guess, is to fold our signatures and create the signatures. And then I'm going to get some other things glued, and then that might be what we get done today. Okay, because I'm just going to fold these, and then I have no rhyme or reason about them. So, and then we'll just add the other pages to it. Because and this was a big kit, but this kit gives you, if there's 6, I like to have between 12 and 15 pages in the signature, but I'm going to look and see that this book might not be that. I like gator mouth. It definitely does not bother me. So, and I've made some that are really big gator mouth ones. So if I have to, I'll find some way to. I will know before I sew them in the spine. If I need to, I'll either add grommets, or I'll put a ribbon right through the back of the book cover, and so the ribbon is nice and secure. I try to alternate these pages a little bit. It was beautiful to print this. I didn't have any problem at all. I just had to remember to make sure it came out as landscape, and then I think I had to do landscape, and I wanted it to come off the rear feeder, because that's where I had the paper, especially when I did the second side. That's where I put all the pages that were already printed. Just printed. I have found one thing: if you're printing back to back, by all means, let's see, by all means, the first side of your page that you print, and I'm using 24-pound paper. It's a little lighter weight than copy paper, but I just love the feel of it. It's got this really smooth feel. And I used to love there was a presentation paper that that was that way, and I just love the feel of it. So I just went ahead and did that. I mean, used that paper, but even with copy paper, if you're doing it, you need to wait for probably a good hour before you put in your the other side to print, because I was having all sorts of issues with it. It was kind of stick, because when they come out and there's this much ink on them, they're pretty wet. So before you do the second side, and then make sure you've got it turned the way that it's going to be upright on your page, double check, or sacrifice a one page. So you've got to sacrifice one. There's two, there's two, there's two on that page. So this one's going to go in like this. Just interesting spookiness, you know, on this page. You can make up all sorts of stories about what dungeon this was in or something. Yeah. I'm just going to go along like this until we get done, and then we'll add the other pages. Love these books, old books in here too. Wouldn't it be fun to have these books if they were real? Of course, then we'd be making journals out of them. Okay, 2, 3. Okay. Really cool, interesting things that are in this kit. Something's a little hard to, when I cut the pages out, or the individual bottles out, it's kind of hard to see on some of the darkness. But that's what I like about this one, is it's really dark. It can be a really grungy journal. Okay, there we go. All right, which one do I want? I want this one. I want this one. A big tome. Big tome. Yeah, Dasher Dave had his kits, I think up through August 11th, he had them on sale. So I took advantage of it and purchased several different kits, because I know eventually I will use them. And I get some summer favorite kits, and like this I just thought was really beautiful for Halloween type journal, and that's what this book is going to be used for, is my Halloween. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I want just straight bottles here on this one. These are all so similar, but they are all different. And he's just got interesting things in here. Interesting papers. Okay, here's that one that was like a big different kind of journal or something, where it opened almost like 3 ways. It just looks all spooky and spider-webby and magical. I'm a big sci-fi, sci-fantasy, magical reader of books, and I love audiobooks. Sometimes you like the tall bottles right there, and other times I like the shelves to be showing. So, but it's all going to be here. But you know, they'll be since they're folded over, and they'll be interspersed with other pages. It will just. I wanted the grungiest pages I could find. Ooh, that's a nice big bottle. I should have done it like that to cut it out and make it a tag. I think so. That's what I had in my idea, but when I was printing them, and you know, on that computer it's so tiny when you look at the pictures, you don't always get there. So, and we will count these to see if I count them right. Make sure there's 6 in each stack. somehow, this is one I've already got done. So here. Okay, so let me just take a minute and count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we have those done. So each of those piles has 6. I'm going to move this off here for the right time being and get down to my pages. And by the way, I have already cut out my this will be a hidden spine journal, and I've already made my little template for poking my holes. Didn't need to hold you people up. So this is just some paper, and I like that it's already got a chew out of it. It's kind of grungy, and I'm probably going to grunge some of these up even more. Grungy. Some more things that need to go over here. Like this. Let's use this really blotty grunge page right here. Get the grunge out as much as we can. Now this one I believe I was going to be using for a background. So I'm going to missed a page on that. Well, we'll see. Okay, here's another one. Just grungy copy paper. Some of these are pretty crispy, and the overbaked papers sometimes, and I do when I do my coffee and tea dyeing, I bake them in the oven most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I will lay them out, especially if I'm doing the red cabbage dye one time. And I baked it in the oven, and it turned out lavender. Beautiful shade of lavender, but I was after the blue. I think I'm off one page here on this other just grunge. I'll have to get up and get one. We don't want to not have enough. I don't like having mismatched pages. So here's 1, 2, 2 there. Okay, this is the front and back of the book. Let's see what else I have over here. Get these all done first. Here's some that's pretty crackly. And I like crackly noises when you do a journal. I'm not ready for the ASMR, the ones where you just no talking and you just make the sound go. This paper has a slight pink cast to it, but I do a lot of pink and light blues. Those are my favorite colors. I will have to cut these down. Let me wait a minute. I'm going to refold this one. It's not folded quite right. Has an extra crease on it. So let me, I'm going to go cut these down. I will be right back for my printer. So hold on, I will be right back. And I'm right over off the side. That's where my cutting board is, but my trimmer is. But it's not, it's too big. I don't have enough room on my desk to trim it. So I need to 8.5 by, these need to be 5.5. 5.5 would be half of the 8.5 by 11 page folder, and then they need to be they're 8.5 inches tall. which I'm still going to be cutting off some of that. So I think I'm going to be cutting the wrong end. I'm going to cut the end that has the bottom off. So I'll make that. Okay. I'll be right back. Yes, as Gail Augustinelli says, talk amongst yourselves. Maybe I can cut this out while I'm editing the journal. So 8.5. Okay, so I have these 3. And that way I can keep the lines upright. We're still missing one page, like this first page in here. I will have to go and look. I will have to go and look in here. The accounting pages, they should be fine. And it doesn't matter that it's sideways. Now, it might stick out a little bit. Yeah, I probably might have to cut that down a little. Okay, we'll just do that. Let's see if I've got this little trimmer here that probably work. I haven't used it yet. It was given to me by a friend. Well, actually, it was her mother's estate. I know the mother very well, and got to know the daughter. And there's this little trimmer. So let's see if I can figure out how to do this. It does not have a 5.5, so let me measure here somehow. How much am I going to take off? Oh, it's not going to be that bad. Just a little, about 1/4 inch is all I need to take off. Alright, let's see how this goes. Alright. Now that looks slick. There's one. Put your papers in. Yes, one should always try their equipment before they try to do a YouTube video. Okay, there's one. But I knew it was too small to do the other paper. It wasn't big enough to do the 8.5 by 11s. Come on. How come you're not wanting to let me in there? Okay. There. Okay. Alright, there. I'll set this down into my counter. Throw that away. I do think I'm going to have to trim all of these pages lengthwise because, unless I just decided I'm sticking out. So there's just a little bit of room at the top and bottom. I might just leave it. I might just leave it like that and have all of the, I might just have it sticking out. I don't know yet. We'll see. But it probably would be better journal if I trimmed them. So that might be another good reason to make this a 2-parter. So after I get this done, and I can come back and have it trimmed and have things cut out, and you're not sitting here watching me do mundane things. Oh, got an extra piece of brown paper. All right, we'll stick that aside over here. Yeah, I go through every so often. I will go through my packaging, and this was just either Amazon or when Chewy. I used to get. I get a lot of things for my cats ordered to Chewy, and they used to have this brown paper in there. Now they have this paper that's several strips, about 4 strips, but it's kind of glued together in the middle, so you can't just unroll it and use it. I do know that this is going to have to be trimmed. Music paper normally is. It's bigger than the 8.5 by 11. But it's pretty crispy. told you already that I got started in junk journals. I think it was about the end of 2018 when I noticed it. So I was well on my way, at least with learning what I was doing, and I basically self-taught because of all the tutorials on YouTube, and I mean, I loved it, but I think it was the end of 2018, and by the time when we shut down for the pandemic, I was a very happy camper. I did not mind being by myself. I could order off of Amazon, have things delivered. I spent my days watching YouTube, and there's several people I've watched on a regular basis. This is just small coffee dyed paper, and I love it when I get in my drawers that have coffee dyed in there. They retain that smell. I don't know once they're out and about in the atmosphere in the room what they're going to be like. But that one, this one. I want that grungy stuff. I want that grungy stuff. We can change our minds, can't we? Our best intentions. Trim some of those. So it's this first page of my stuff. I need to find one like this. I'll be right back again. I was not very prepared. This one is not as grungy, but it's there. So I got that out of that pile. Nothing like hitting the camera, hitting my phone and the camera. I'm not used to sitting at my desk and having to watch out for ducking. In fact, I never seem to pay attention to anything that's hanging down in front of me. So let's count these pages again. Now that we have whole signatures here, we have. Oh, get all of them. Okay. Yeah, I'm short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that's a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, the extra one in that pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need an extra page in this stack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so I do need another page on that, and I don't have another one here. So I'm going to go after something. I don't know which page it was. We started with the 6 of those, and so something here I didn't get in the right page. So tell you what, I think that this is, well, I'm going to go ahead and sort these out and get my signatures in order. And then I actually, I think what we'll just do is we'll just end this video for today, and this will be the end of part 1. I thank you for watching. Leave me a comment. I hope you subscribe. I do want to get to, have a few subscribers out there. This is my 3rd video, and I know I'm slow on getting videos up. I haven't reached my goal yet of doing a weekly, but it's going to be here soon, okay? I hope everybody has a good week. I will see you next week on part 2. And this is Ann with Chuck Jones by Ann. Hugs from Texas. Bye now.